here it is. Comparing the soundtracks of Hollow Knight to Silksong, and how real instruments makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Awesome.
There we go. First, MIDI. What is it? Most of you probably know, but just so we're all on the same page, this is what it stands for. And basically, in its simplest terms, or at least for the definition that we're going to use for this presentation, it is synthesized or digital recreations of instruments. You can also use the term VST. And how is it useful to video game composers? Well, there's lots of different ways. If they're writing electronic music, if it's a stylistic decision, like trying to recreate a retro video game style, good example is Bug Fables. Has anyone played Bug Fables? Me neither.
Very familiar.
I played it for like a bit and then I stopped because I don't like RPGs. But it's basically like recreating like old style Paper Mario games. So like if you hear the discourse about how everyone says that new Paper Mario sucks, Bug Fables, that's your alternative. Or if small indie game company no money and can't hire musicians, MIDI. Like this game, Hollow Knight. Whoa. Let's talk about Team Cherry. Team Cherry they are the creators of Hollow Knight. First, can I get a show of hands? Who has played Hollow Knight? Okay, that's great. Who has played or is currently playing Silksong? Cool. Like, have you? And for each of you, are you playing it? Are playing it now, or have you already finished it? Playing
Two
now.
endings so far.
Two endings so far. So, what about you?
Yeah, it's a really good time.
Okay. Cool. Same with me. I'm currently playing it. I'm in Act 3. Team Cherry in 4 words. Small. They're a small team. Masterful. Sadistic. And pure evil. That's one of them. Their games are hard. But we're going to be focusing on this word, small. They are a very small team. For example, can anyone name a Team Cherry game pre-Hollow Knight?
Hungry Night. I was gonna say.
Don't say Hungry Night. Exactly. So they're a really small team, and Hollow Knight was kind of like their first big game. So clearly they would not have the budget for a live orchestra. So Christopher Lucken, the composer, relied on his sound library, which is very good, admittedly. Here's a brief overview of each game. It's about bugs. An actual Hollow Knight is about a bug named the Knight, who is not the Hollow Knight, who explores the dead kingdom of Hallownest, which has been overtaken by an infection that takes over bugs' minds through their dreams, brought on by the god of light and dreams, the Radiance, who was insecure because no one was worshipping her and instead worshipped the Pale King who created Hallownest. Silksong is about a bug named Hornet, who is half weaver, a type of spider, and half worm thing. She is also half siblings with the Knight and the Hollow Knight. She is captured and taken to the kingdom of I don't know why I capitalized kingdom. Taken to the kingdom of Farlum, which is being haunted by Silk, which takes over the bug's minds. Totally not similar to that. She must make her way to the Citadel to find out who is behind the haunting. The first game used 2 live instruments, a viola and a piano. Hell yeah, viola.
Oh, yeah.
I know you play violin. Do you also play viola?
I can.
Cool.
If asked.
If asked. Same here. Compare that to Silksong, which had a few more. Whoa.
Whoa.
It had all of these. Notice there's no French horn. Or any percussion. Or harp. Which is like a big instrument in the game. But how does it affect the soundtracks? Well, let's compare them.
Oh,
Hold up.
Oh shit.
Play.
go with the volume.
Good, that tests the volume out.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
guess it works.
Here, let me just do it again. Okay, that's a good volume.
Perfect. Lovely.
Okay, the first two we're going to look at is Hornet from Hollow Knight and Lace from Silksong. If you have not played these games, it looks a little confusing. That's the player character. That's the player character, even though they're the same character. She is a boss in the first game. Both tracks use a string orchestra. But of course, one is fake and one is real. So what does that sound like? It sounds like this.
Sounds like a CBS.
It's kind of a big deal.
We'll listen to a little bit. Pay close attention to the violin melody here. We'll pause it right there. Honestly, pretty good. Like, the MIDI, Christopher Larkin used it to its fullest potential. But, what is happening? Am I still in
Yeah,
press?
there you go.
Shit.
Oh shoot.
Go back.
I love Google Slides.
No, it's okay.
But how does that compare to this? A very similar sounding piece, Lace, Silksong. I'm going to skip a bit ahead to where the violin has this crazy cool melody, so we can compare the sound of the two violins. Somewhere around here. Amazing. Something I notice about the difference between the two right off the bat is the fact that you can hear in Lace, you can hear a lot more of the crunch, the actual sound of like the weight being dug into the string. Whereas in Hornet, I don't know, the MIDI gets close. It gets really close, but doesn't quite get there. And especially, I think most of it is really good, but where it like, I don't know, that first violin melody was a little, very, very sus to me. But of course in Lace, we don't have that issue because we have a real player. Yay. Next example. Green Path and Moss Grotto. Two similar areas. They're both grassy and use a very similar instrumentation. A lot of harp, glockenspiel, other stuff, marimba, woodwinds. Let's take a little listen.
It's not a hobby. It's your
Sorry, what the hell is casual
I
gamer
was
playing
gonna ask,
Moss
I was
Grotto?
going to ask.
What is it with the
Don't
emoji
worry.
glasses of the cat?
Yeah. That's the viola. That's
Live viola?
live viola.
Okay, I was like, wow, that's good.
Yeah, no. Pause it there. Christopher Larkin definitely takes advantage of the fact that pizzicato strings are a lot easier to make sound good with MIDI than Arco. I have a question for everyone because I've been trying to figure out what this instrument is, and I do not know what it is. Listen to the instrument that is playing a counter melody to what the viola is doing. Here. This thing.
I think it's a soprano sax.
Soprano sax?
Yes.
Okay.
English horn.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking-
I guess English horn, but it is very ambiguous.
It is.
Um,
It's a new instrument.
Yeah, brand new instrument. So, yeah, I put English horn, but I wasn't sure. I had no problems figuring out what the stuff in Silksong was. Note that, God damn it. Note, I think, what was it, the harp and the glockenspiel and marimba are still MIDI, but everything else is not.
Our lowest prices of the year are here. Treat yourself to
Whoa,
a
low
and
price.
save $140.
Why am I the nearest guitar center is like 30 miles away or
So
something.
hard.
I'm just skip a bit ahead to some woodwind stuff. Yeah. No question, that's an oboe. Very nice. What I love about this, in my experience with this game, at this point I did not know that they were able to get plenty more like live musicians. I had a feeling, because I'm like, they made a lot of money from this game. Surely some of that budget went towards the soundtrack. And I knew they had live strings, but I didn't know if they would get live winds as well. And so I remember first playing it and being like, wow, this sounds a lot better. And I'm like, hold on. And then I looked it up and surely enough, there you go. So I was incredibly happy. Are we all okay? Can we continue?
The slow fade.
Just very minor spoilers. This is what the Citadel looks like in Silksong. It's very cool.
Just got there yesterday.
Nice. Good time. Yeah, great timing. So example 3 would be White Palace and the choral chambers. Sort of similar instrumentation, less woodwinds in this department, and no harp, no piano, but strings. So Oh yeah, and if you want to be really specific with the instrumentation, I did not put in tam-tam and timpani are in these as well.
When you've got a classic ride, you need tools you trust. Whether you drive it every day,
Okay, it keeps recommending the same video. I'm gonna pause it right here. There's an oboe solo coming up. Both of these tracks have an oboe solo, so really listen out for the differences between the two. And they also, weirdly enough, happen at almost the same timestamps, and they're about the same length. It's a little freaky. Cool. Now, Silksong. Oh wow, Neil deGrasse Tyson is old? Wow.
This implied also just so much.
Oh yeah. Real voices too. I was especially happy about that because in Hollow Knight I thought the choir sound library was terrible. I hated it so much. Oboe. I love this one so much. Like you said, this in high halls. Fuck it, I'll play high halls too. Just why not?
Just to find
It's very
it.
similar.
It's very similar. So the instrumentation for this one is just harp, flute, and oboe. God, I love that flute line. The very end just goes up super high. Wonderful. Also, what I noticed about that one, this is a common theme for Christopher Larkin's music in just these two games, more so the first game. But like, whenever there's like a track in 3, there's always like some sort of like, I don't know, mix between like 3, 4, and 6, 8 going on. It was definitely in the Hornet one. There was a lot of alternating between 3, 4, and 6, 8 and overlaying those on top of each other, and also 12, 16 in the middle. And that one had like the kind of da 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 sort of feel to it. So he does that a lot throughout both games, which I think is really cool. And that's the end.
I was wondering, does anyone know like the VST they used for the first game?
I don't know,
That was
because
gonna be my question.
It's a really good library.
it's a really
Yeah.
good, because
Yeah, I was
actually
actually
Yeah.
quite impressed.
there's one of my favorite examples of just how good that VST is comes from
Samsung.
Yeah.
comes from Samsung. Hollow Knight. Supports. Yeah. I mean, it's really convincing. Especially like just a lot of those low notes that the cellos and basses are playing feel very heavy, and a lot of the 16th notes that the violins are doing, I can really hear like it sounds like they're playing it up on the G string and really digging into the string. So I was very impressed, especially with this track. So I don't know what the VST is, but whatever it is, I want it.
Yeah, because I was wondering, so, I mean, I don't compose or arrange, so, like, is it possible for, like, composing, or, like, I guess building a sound library for a game like this, if you can, like, manipulate the MIDI in some way, or are you sort of, like, working with a preset?
It's sort of, I have a bit of experience with Spitfire Symphony Orchestra. It's basically just sheer brute force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, I know there's, like, new programs out there for modeling, but, like, traditionally how it's been done is you'll spend, like, $700 on, like, a library, and it's like, okay, here's 500 gigabytes of WAV files.
Yeah.
And then you go through, like, basically a GUI of, like, every single possible articulation, like 127 different velocity presets, and then you just brute force, like, each MIDI element just goes like this. Or, like, if you want to do, like a gliss, or like a quasi gliss, like a da-da-da-da, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like there is a lot of, like you said, a lot of brute force, a lot of experimentation with it. I think with the best sound libraries out there, you can, like, if you really go in and just detail work every single thing, you can get it to where it will sound nearly realistic, like basically there, very convincing. But it takes a lot of time and can't really do that for an entire soundtrack. And it's actually more, it's more it's a bigger benefit if you just get the live players to do it, because they could that all that nuance and stuff is just taken care of just from humans being humans. So,
Yeah.
but you can technically recreate that if you really wanted to, but it's going to take days and days and days, and it's like you'd probably be paid more for your time doing that than like it would than would take for just to get the musicians
I
to
got
do
it,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
yeah. All right, there we go.
Alright, yeah. Any other questions?
questions?
I
Open
kind of
it.
have a question now.
Mhm.
Okay, wait, at the part in the slab
Yes.
where it's like really cool.
Uh-huh. The part in the slab where it's really cool.
Really cool.
The music or the area itself?
Like the part where she steals the stuff back from the guard.
Yes.
That part, where there's like the remix of Hornets thing.
Oh yes, Red Maiden.
Yeah, wait, what's Red Maiden sound like with like comparison to Hornets? Because I haven't listened to them side by side.
Well, let's listen to them side by
It's the
side.
same.
Yeah.
It's like a remix of the melody.
It is, yes. Let's do it.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need,
It's Wix.
Yeah.
Oh, so. Here, let's listen to Hornet first. Even though we already did, but just to get it fresh in our minds. So yeah, that's the main theme. I'm just gonna skip to the 12/16 part. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then 4 against 3 here. Yeah. There we go. Really cool. Basses or cello's bass is doing 3, viola and piano are still doing 4. Really awesome. Oh yeah, here's Red Maiden. Yeah, so basically just taking the 2 parts of that theme, the 5th going up, da dun, and then da da dun 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 dun. Except here the speed is, I think, doubled, or so it's different. It's like bum 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 bum, where the other one is slower, and then just kind of riffing on that. What I think is really cool about it is that it starts in a different key, but then modulates to the key of Hornet. Yeah. Any other questions or tracks that people want to?
You might not know the answer, but do you think that there was like a deliberate choice to use MIDI and stuff? Because I'm sure they could have afforded any instrument they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Like for Moss Grotto specifically, it's like they start out with just MIDI. It almost makes it feel like the Hollow Knight soundtrack, and then it moves into something different.
I think,
Which
yeah.
is pretty cool.
I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
one of my game theory, would be that because Moss Grotto is like, I think it's not the first, but one of the very first tracks that plays in the game. That it's kind of a way to lead you into it, and because it sounds a lot like Green Path, and Green Path is like, I mean, in like Silksong, I think it's, or not in Silksong, in Hollow Knight, Green Path is really one of those tracks that I think stays with you a bit more than the others. I remember just playing it, and like my mom would be able to sing the melody from in the other room because I'd spend so much time in that area. So that would probably be the reason why. In terms of like, we can actually look at just the entire OST, because in the description, Christopher Larkin posted, he lists
It's the
all the
holidays.
musicians.
Oh.
Really?
So we have
Oh wow.
okay. Yeah. So here's everything. So I had 3 violinists, 2 violists, 1 cellist, 1 bassist, and then 2 flautists and 3 oboists. Weirdly enough,
Cool.
clarinet, bass clarinet, bassoon, contrabassoon, trumpet, trombone, no horn or tuba, some solo singers, and then the rest of the choir. So actually, kind of a similar lineup to what we have for
Honestly.
So yeah, when I was arranging clockwork dancers, then I was like, I was getting this instrumentation and our instrumentation mixed up with each other. I'm like, hold up, no, we have the saxophone. They don't
Yeah,
have it.
right.
Yeah, they have only 3 violins. We have six violins, like, or 5
Or
or
5,
whatever.
yeah. Who knows?
But so it is interesting. Like, I don't know why they didn't get a harpist, because the harp is like used in so many tracks in the game, because it's a very important instrument, like lore wise.
I have a game theory about that.
Okay.
Because it's also really prevalent in Hollow Knight as well, right? actually haven't played either game.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like generally, I think maybe it's like because it's so important, they wanted it to like stand out,
Mhm.
like timbrely from the other instruments.
Right.
And like
wanted
the
to
harp would
feel-
probably sound more beautiful and blend better with the like the rest of the ensemble, but maybe that's precisely why they didn't do that, because they wanted
Right.
it to sort of stick out.
They kind of No, yeah, I could see that for sure.
Maybe.
In Silksong, there's kind of like an Ocarina of Time sort of like
Yeah.
Coda gets a harp and is playing it a lot. I didn't realize it was an actual harp.
I mean, yeah, harp
it's
MIDI is like
impressively good.
really
It's
very- yeah.
Yeah.
like
Very, yeah.
plucked strings usually do pretty well on MIDI.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do pretty well. Harp especially, just because there's like 1 string per note. Well, 1 string per 3 notes, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just like inputting like harp parts and like Dorico, and then using Note Performer, you can get very convincing sounds. So yeah, that would be a good explanation as to why they didn't get an actual harp for that. Because I'm sure they could have, since it's such an important part. Just they couldn't get a horn player though, which I'm a little upset by, because there are some cool horn moments in the soundtrack, and honestly, the VST used for horn wasn't that great.
Do you know where this was? Do you know where they recorded?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm assuming sort of like.
Yeah, and also like, I don't know if this was like, but what it seems to me is that this is not an established group,
Right.
and that they just kind
Of course.
brought in musicians. So, given that the game took a while and COVID happened during that time frame, this might have all been done, or mostly done, remotely. So
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Well, it sounds good.
sounds very good. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out, because like that was my biggest hope, was that Silksong would have like at least just more live instruments than Hollow Knight did for their soundtrack, and I waited years, and it paid off.
Yay. Cool.
Cool.
Alright. Let me stop right there.